All right. And here we go. All right, guys. Here I am today for the first time in a fat minute playing Stanley Parable. Ready to have some fun. Probably cry a little bit. Don't know why. Don't question it. Might have something to do with my keyboard and the fact that the D button, ironic, isn't working. Also ironic. But that's besides the point. So, to whomever may join in the future, welcome to the stream. Give me a few seconds to send things out, and we will be ready. Hope everyone's day is going all right. Mine is going great. You might hear my cat screaming in the background. That's besides the point. He's fine, I swear. We'll just ignore him for now. That's fine. No need to worry. All right. Anyways, it's all sent out to whomever may join. I hope you enjoy. Until the computer is barely visible. We'll play it the right way for everyone. No, I'm kidding. I'll put it in medium. I don't want to fucking... I don't need that. The current time. That's very specific. Oh, went up a minute. All right. Ultra Deluxe. That's not the only thing in this chat that's Ultra Deluxe. Let me tell you. Oh, compensation is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is loading new.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-wrenching,
oh my God, look at that
Stanley
hair texture.
relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
I know this game was made like...
And then one
what,
day,
2013,
something very
2016?
peculiar happened.
That's 3 years
Something
apart,
that would
that's
forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
What happens if I just sit here? Clock's ticking and everything. It doesn't even show the time that it had me put in. That's 4:56. 56, 57? I don't know. I guess it's up to interpretation. Hope everyone enjoys hearing the clickety-clackety. It's around here. I hate Mondays. Who doesn't hate Mondays? What does that say? Am I filing for my taxes while on the job? Is that what that shit says? I don't fucking know. Not like I'm gonna get much in returns anyways. You can type on the keyboard. What about... Oh.
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly.
Absolutely.
The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever.
You can absolutely be
I will
happy
be
forever.
happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come.
Oh, the real
Eventually,
question.
someday,
He's still
they
going.
would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh. Did it? What did it? What did it? Hello? What am I being told to do?
But Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure.
Wait, no,
What
it's
if he
making
had
you
to
go
make a
through it
decision?
again. No,
What if a crucial
no,
outcome fell under
no, I
his
get it, I get it.
responsibility? He had never
Let
been
me
trained
go.
for that. No.
No.
This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to
I
do
don't
now,
want to go
Stanley
through
thought
it
to
again.
himself,
God
is to
damn it.
wait.
I get
Nothing
it.
will
I need to
hurt me.
leave the room. Let
Nothing
me
will
leave.
break me.
Let me leave the
In
room.
here I can be happy
Okay,
forever.
no, I get it.
I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days.
Let me leave.
Had years gone by? He
I
no
get it.
longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to
Still
do.
doing it.
Now it's just a little bit closer.
Still doing it.
Now it's even closer.
Still talking.
Here it comes.
Just up. All right. All right. Okay, we're back in. Ugh. All right, off we go. 427, my employee number. 429.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
You celebrating like a birthday party or something? Is Francis
No
down in
matter how hard
433
Stanley looked,
getting
he
hitched
couldn't find
finally?
a trace
I don't
of
know
his
how she got
co-workers.
hitched out of anyone, but fuck. Does everyone just have the same coffee mug? Do we all hate Mondays? Number one dad. This person ain't number one of jack shit. Yeah. The opposite of Francis. No way you could be number one of anything. Or hate Mondays, I guess, you fucking oddball. 434. Alright, I guess I won't shut the door. I guess Stanley's just that guy. Oh! Okay, I guess that's just the lone door I can't shut. 424. What's going on here? You watching porn? Can't see very well. I see your new mug. I see it. It exists. Be my Valentine. Damn, 422. Shit. I don't know who the fuck you are, but you... Clearly someone likes you. Ooh, waiting input. Can I move the chair out of the way? What if I just go around clicking on everyone's keyboards? What does that say? Why is it so hidden? Oh, it's this fuel. That's not what I thought it said at all. Alright, never mind. Hello? Ooh, mysterious ladder in 417's room. Guess I'll have to... Oh, no, I can't think of a fun for that. Never mind, we're good. Ooh, spooky area. Can't go in there either. Alright. Oh, this looks like it was straight out of the back rooms.
When Stanley came to a set
Hello?
of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I would love to stop by the employee lounge first, actually. That's my favorite place to be. Other than when I shit on company time. That's my second favorite thing to do. That looks really interesting in there. Why can't I go in? The employee lounge!
Yes, truly a room worth admiring.
Yay!
It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a
absolutely
few
was.
moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being
Hey man,
here
shut
in
the fuck
room.
up, alright?
A room so utterly captivating that
Just
even
say.
though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
I'm trying my best to read this. What is it about this place? The weeks I've spent here.
At this
They feel
point,
the-
Stanley's
Shut the fuck
obsession
up.
with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Damn, bro, I'm just trying to read. Fine, fuck. Fucking...
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Okay, shit. Fuck, I want.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, wait, I can go back. You don't have to yell at me like that. What is this? Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. I'm not sure I'd get that penalty.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you?
No, I'm just a naturally curious
I don't know how
person.
to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
Ooh, no buttons past this point. You know, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want. The game would fucking let me. Fine. The only thing I'll bring along is a bucket of this dick. That wasn't fun.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Okay, if you're gonna give me the option, right? If you're gonna give me the option to go through the red or the blue door, and tell me to go through the red door, and you're getting this upset at this point, I physically cannot bring myself to walk through the red door. I'm sorry.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
I didn't snort no, Stanley did not walk through the red door. This is my story to tell.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh, look, a blue door. Perfect.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of
Yes,
this road?
I do. This is
You've
my
chosen
story.
well. Don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin. Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically, but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
They gave the whole fucking leaderboard just for this. Only the worst 3% of players chose the... Compete against others to improve your Stanley Parable cover. I've not been playing this for that long. Damn! First list empty! 98.9% of players are more attractive than Stanley. A dead rat is objectively ranked 9,327th out of 9,328 players worldwide. Damn. Damn. I can't believe I just got roasted by a game. Should have told me I had no fucking friends. Damn. That's just... ouch. Just fucking... ouch. I don't even know how to react to that. Like, I'm genuinely stunned. I physically could not. Fine. I know I need to go through the correct door, but I need to see... Oh. Okay, fine. I'll go through the correct door next.
Now, would you say that competitive
no, maybe not. It's still
helps you
going.
feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
It's still going. Doesn't make me feel... No, you know what? No, it does not make me feel more obligated.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on. And now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting.
Playtesting.
You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Oop.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
The fucking sound! Oh. Okay, fine. Let him burn. That's fine. Bye-bye, baby.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable.
Spend $20
oh,
on
hey,
this.
since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game, just to ease the pain? Let's see. What do we
This
have
motherfucker's
here?
about to read off my games.
Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot. Aha! Fascinating. What do you think this game is about, Stanley?
I know what
What's our
game this is.
backstory? What is our motivation?
At least I think I do.
Well, it seems obvious to me that
Howdy.
you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent
Oh,
civilians
that's what
below
this
you
is?
from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose.
It's definitely
Yes,
not what this
that
game is
must be
about.
it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love everything about this game, Stanley. And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
It's really having me play fucking Firewatch. Just because I spited him. This isn't even... I feel kind of bad for this one. I feel like I need to look up if it'll actually let me play through the entirety of
Oh,
Firewatch.
No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly block it off.
Oh my god, hello?
Thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around. No right or wrong directions. No path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it. We're out of the woods now, Stanley. Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game.
I can't read what that says. Fuck.
Preferably something with...
Wait, is that to begin the game again?
walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
I can't read what my top chat says. It's not all the way anyways. Ah, there it is. Alright, we're good. Hello, Tugger, my good old buddy.
I think this
The MC
will be
had with
just
some
the thing.
teenagers near the water. Oh, wait. Oh, it's putting me in another game. Is this fucking Rocket League? Are you
Wonderful.
shitting
See,
me?
this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design. Stanley, if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
It's okay, Tugger. I fixed it. I can read your stuff now. We're good.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack.
Oh
Okay,
my
I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun. We shall run the bases and do a touchdown together? Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Hello.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on?
Oh, I'm speeding
Stanley,
up.
I have a thought. And I
Speeding
realize
up.
I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal... Hold on. What are you doing?
I don't know. Where the fuck am I?
Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back. We still have so much...
Kind of miss my man. All right, chat. Tell me which door to go through. Do I go through the number 5? The filing cabinet? Whatever this is? Or do I go in this direction? What are we thinking? Beta. I don't even know how I ended up here. Maybe I should have followed the door. I feel like this is some kind of thing that I shouldn't. I really feel like I should have gone the right way first, but my need to spite people is too high. I don't know what to do. Any ideas, anyone? Got file cabinets, number 5, the gaping vagina, and the big black hole. Go that way. Wow. We'll go this way. No, turn around. Hello. Don't tell me. Don't fucking tell me I just got put in Gary's mod. This looks like Gary's mod. At least the textures do. Are they just bringing me through several different stages of Stanley Parable? Clearly I went the wrong way. I thought the... Hello?
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
Can you now? It's just... Oh, we're back at the beginning. Alright.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
real
decided to go
question-
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
The real question is he gonna get pissed off at me if I do it again?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room,
Alright,
and
so it's
Stanley
just gonna be
knew
the
it
same thing.
perfectly
Okay,
well.
I gotta go through the
Perhaps
actual
he wanted to
directions
stop
then.
by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
That's exactly what I wanted to do.
Wow. Yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Fine.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Alright.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive aggressive. Oh, okay. Using slides to ensure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some... Will you stop fucking changing it? I can't read that fast. I don't see any Asians in this photo. That's not good enough. You gonna keep going? Alright. What do people want? Things? Happy feelings? Money, more money, things, but with money to buy more things. Graphs about things plus money. We have our new product. I feel like I've seen this in an episode of The Office. What else is around here? Is this the same thing? Oh. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Synergize papers! Exclamation point. Yeah, it's because of my keyboard. Hold on. I'll just slightly shove that over. Other than that, I'm going to have to play with a controller. Does Stanley Parable have controller support? Chris, you in here?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Chris! I don't want to turn around.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Fine. Play your game.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I have to physically refrain from going downstairs. Like, I need to experience the main story. Alright? I need to before I do any other stupid shit. Okay. Oh, boy. Oh shit, I missed. Unless you're, I don't know if you're talking about this or if you're talking about my keyboard. Because this is me clicking. This is just what the game does. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. Should be the Jiffy Lube model. What's in here? This poor panda! They got that my boy Kung Fu Panda in a headlock, bro. Can't Kung Fu his way out of this shit. Ding dong. We going up. Because the only way we can go is from up here from up. Yeah, I feel like this music will be copyrighted. Is there a stopping point? Alright, well now I know. Alright. Into the boss's room I go. Where's... Hello?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him, and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Two, 8, 4, 5.
Fine.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Fine. Okay. I specifically pressed up, but alright. That's fine.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
It'll be different, right? Will it look different? Is there anything new in here?
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office. Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is. What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated.
I'm going back down.
It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have. An incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow. I'm bolted to the edge of my seat. Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this?
Thinking about going back up in the elevator.
Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
Eat my ass, man.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Alright.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
That's fine.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ooh. Meh.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world
Joke's on you.
is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss.
I like being
plucking
squished.
the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Come on. Harder! Hard as you can! That's all I want!
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Okay.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same.
That's
Do you
stupid
see now?
Fuck, holy shit.
Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
That's super deep, goddamn. How the fuck can I open these doors? Hey Tugger, it's your favorite game that I just shut off on accident. Okay, so it was 2013. Is it just giving me concept art? I feel like I maybe should just restart from the beginning again. This is cool. I'm really not sure what to interpret of the cum room. Okay, I need to. Oh, you get in the game again. Damn. All right.
All of his
For real this time, we're going.
What could it mean?
All right, I promise.
Stanley
We'll just go through
decided
this
to
all
go to
again.
the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply
420,
missed a
420,
memo.
let me in.
Stanley
Let me
went
in.
around touching every
in.
little thing in the office,
Let me in.
but it didn't make
Come
a
on.
single difference.
Come on.
Nor did it advance
Let
the
me in.
story in any
Let me in.
way.
You don't understand.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah. We're progressing.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
New Age music.
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
All right. Back to it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Don't worry, I'm not going to go through it again. So
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Say something, motherfucker.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Do I, though?
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength
this looks like
to find
a
out?
scene straight out of the Matrix. Is there a scene like this in the Lego movie as well? Which also conveniently came out around the same time as 2013. I think actually 2014. Well, bam.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
What was I again? 423? Yeah, I think that's me. Looks like my office. Ba-bam.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never!
Never!
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
What if I want to go back down? Did you think of that game? Some nicely textured ground, I guess.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
under this? It's gonna force me to do it. I don't want to do it. I want to control everyone. Let me push the button. Damn it. That looks like an important button over here. Boop. 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 It's 5. So there's 3 over there. There's 5 right there. There's 1. There's 2. Okay. 1, 2. I physically cannot sprint, by the way. I'm assuming 4 is up there. 3. I can't go up there. I tried. I tried my best. That is red. And there's a wire. So what happens? Okay. My evil plan didn't work. Well, what if I... Okay. Fine. Maybe it's just a random red button. Okay, fine. I don't have time for this. Ugh, I don't care enough. Alright.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Right. Anyways.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself? Is that what you wanted? Control?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are said to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
I knew it!
It's your time to shine. You are the star.
1.
It's your story now.
2.
Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments
That's
each
not
one
3.
of them is.
3's over here.
More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means.
3.
I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers
Come
are?
on!
A moment of solace before you're obliterated?
Come on!
All right, I'm in a good mood.
4.
You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them.
I don't care!
I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course,
You
that was
fucking
merely
what?
in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let
Come
you
on,
sit
not
there in your
Francis!
office forever,
She was
pushing
so
buttons
sweet and kind.
endlessly and then dying alone.
I did 1, 2, 3, 4,
I let
5.
the
What the
office
fuck?
sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside.
I pressed
or
the
I
right
let
things.
it burn to a crisp.
Maybe it's
I have to
5.
say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything
0521,
and take
is that
back
what
the
that says?
control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
So
Oh dear me,
good.
what's the
Okay.
matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or
Okay,
what you're
so
supposed to
one,
be doing right now? Or did
maybe?
you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every
Fuck,
little
he's
thing
right.
in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Fuck.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom
No.
and then nothing.
No.
No ending here.
No, I'm smart, I
Just you
swear.
being blown to pieces.
I'll be a
Will you
good
cling
boy, I
desperately
promise.
to your frail life?
I
or will you let
promise.
it go peacefully?
We don't have to do this.
Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me. All a part of the joke. And believe me, I will
don't
be
have to do
laughing at
this.
every second of your inevitable life from the moment
You don't
we
have to
fade
do
in
this.
until the moment I say happily ever
No,
after.
don't do this. That son of a bitch.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Huh.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I really should have played through the actual story first, but I don't feel like it's as important.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Ooh, leaving him
As
Ultra
you may know,
Deluxe.
the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable
2022,
Ultra
I didn't know
Deluxe,
that.
a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
It came out on consoles?
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's
New
do
content.
it.
Didn't play the old content. Playing the new content. New content. New content. Everyone say it with me. New content.
Say initial
New
impressions
content.
of Stanley
New
Parable
content.
Ultra Deluxe. Mostly tedious. It's as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Another cum room. What is it with this game in the cum rooms?
All right. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
If people bitch about the fact that we don't have a jump button, I swear to God. Oh my God, they did. Aw.
Is that it?
That would make sense.
Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
Yes.
If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please
Really?
ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley.
Find
I
these
built up
people on
too much
Twitter and hold
anticipation
them
around the new
personally
content, I'm
accountable?
afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
New content. I was really about to call it quits right there, too. But no.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something.
Okay, so that's the right way to go. I'm going in the vent.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
What the fuck is this? Wow.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
That's so pretty.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
If anyone actually uses Firefox, they're wrong. Hey, it's Mr. Krabs with dollar bill. Poor man. Just can't catch a break. Oh, there was a demo. Okay.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3.
Was it
was all of them. And now...
Skyrim reference?
It's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
An hour of new elevator content. It's down here. Aww. Is that... It is. It's just a photo of Minecraft. Okay. And that's Portal. Person of the year. What is this check? I wonder if we'll find any YouTuber references. That'd be kind of funny.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone. To spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
So close yet so far. How do I move the boxes? I gotta go.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley,
boy.
It's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh boy.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley, I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness.
2016.
This is actually quite shocking for me. I always, well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down.
Poor Mr. Narrator,
Perhaps
you're not
the
a
Stanley
failure.
Parable isn't quite as sterling
You do a
as I...
good job.
What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the
ominous
record.
music is
Only
getting to me.
positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Yay.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story, and the choices, or what have you, and therefore... Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof! Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself. Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. I've looked at it from every angle. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks.
Jesus, this...
I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing. Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
This
Doesn't
is
that feel
morbid.
like
Hell,
what
holy
we've
fuck.
already been doing? Me just talking? But it isn't, Stanley. It isn't.
I'm sorry, bro.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year.
Damn.
Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months, I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire life. All of them collapsed down into a single instant. In that instant, I could see myself clearly, calmly, with a collected heart. It was an impossibly rich wellspring of both delight.
I'm sorry, Mr. Narrator, man. I couldn't do it. Well, that's annoying. That's super annoying. If I skip enough times, maybe everything
But they
will go
didn't
away.
understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said.
The end is never the end, 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 is
That's
never
not
the
creepy at all. Oh, we got water dripping in. Telling you, if I skip enough times, I'll be able to get out. Jesus Christ, this shit is creepy. We're going again. Sunshine, lollipops, and na 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 na. Oh hey! Oh, that's so pretty. It's actually like so beautiful. Oh. Well, that's morbid. Okay. Yeah, no, that's alright. Let me out. Oh. Will it turn back on? What the fuck? I know it's meant to be a little tee-hee ha-ha, but it's creeping me the fuck out. Alright, picking a direction and going. Oh, black screen. Just restarted me?
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you. You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think?
I don't know if I want to go through this
Deluxe?
again.
What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it.
Hey, that kind of looks like me.
I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features. Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with? You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Get Well Someday it is. Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision. We're moving on. Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
I wonder how much more
What
of this
else?
shit there is.
What other exhibits haven't we seen yet? Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life. God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic. For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you...
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory. If you don't properly roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name. Okay, we're doing it again, and this time let me finish first. Now, allow yourself to become Jim. Imagine yourself driving to work as Jim, playing frisbee on the weekends as Jim, staying up all night for a popcorn and horror movie sleepover as
Jim.
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get out of here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on? Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable 2. They would appreciate what I've created here.
I don't think I need to see anything else.
Oh, goodness, Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the bucket exhibit. You see, there's a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the bucket. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the bucket, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now. A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And
I'm
in
actually
fact,
very happy I get
can
to
I
hold this
say
fucking
that I do
bucket.
believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2. Does anyone give out awards for
The button that
most
says
enjoyable
Jim.
bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already. You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle? Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then. So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley picked up the bucket.
That's fantastic.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Deadass.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
What the fuck am I playing?
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I can't anymore. The sequel is now paused. Okay. Thank you, everyone who did watch. I'll catch you next time, I guess. Bye.